Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So in this video, we'll discuss very important MCQs on demand analysis topic, which is very important topic to maximize your score in the examination, right? So if you are preparing for upcoming UGC NET December attempt, especially from the management paper 2, watch this video till the end and try to answer all the questions in the comment box, okay? Before heading towards the main topic, I would like to share with you all, we are also providing a paper 2 management complete course in which your whole syllabus will be completed through the video lectures. Also, we are providing full syllabus notes, mock test, PYQs with explanation, doubt clearing sessions, marathons, all the things will be provided to you to boost your preparation for upcoming examination, right? So just contact on this number. You can give WhatsApp message or WhatsApp call on this number and you can join the course, or simply just download our application, that is Global Online. Go to the Play Store, search Global Online, install application, open it. Once you open it, go to the store section. Here you can see, when you go to the store section, you will find the search box here. Search paper 2 management and you can join the course through the application. So this is the first question on your screen. You can see, you can also give your answer, your options A, B, C, D, whatever it is, in the comment box, okay? And just check whether your answer is right or wrong. So the question is, total utility is maximum when A, marginal utility is positive, B, marginal utility is 0, C, marginal utility is negative, and D, average utility is maximum. So when the total utility is maximum, total utility is maximum when marginal utility is 0. So what does it mean? Total utility reaches maximum when the additional satisfaction from the consuming one more unit, marginal utility becomes 0. That means, for example, see, you have consumed one apple when you are hungry, okay? Your satisfaction level is increasing. When you add one more, that means second apple, your satisfaction is maximum. But when you add one more, third, your satisfaction is 0 at this point, okay? And after consuming the third apple, if you add one more, that means fourth apple, your satisfaction level or your marginal utility will be reducing. Getting it? Your total satisfaction will be reduced, utility will be reduced from this point. That means the third point, this means the 0. Okay, marginal utility is 0 here because your satisfaction level reached at the maximum. Okay, and after that, when you add one more unit to consume, it will reduce your total utility. Next question, which of the following statement about difference curve is true? A, two difference curves can intersect. B, higher difference curves represent lower utility. C, indifference curves are convex to the origin. And D, indifference curves are upward sloping. What does it mean? So if you want to give your answer, you can give in a comment box. Okay, I'm again telling you, option C is the correct one. Why? Because indifference curves are convex due to diminishing marginal rate of substitution, which is called MRS in the short. When consumers are willing to give up fewer units of one good to gain an extra unit of another as they move along the curve, right? So this is the correct explanation of this answer. Next question. This is the example which is given. If the price of good X falls and the demand for good Y decreases, X and Y are, okay? There are two different products, okay, or goods. One is X and different is Y, okay? When the price of good X, okay, falls, decreases, the demand for Y also decreases, okay? So X and Y are called complements, substitutes, independent goods, or given goods. It is what? It is substitutes. So try to understand first what is substitute, right? The substitute means the both product are similar but the price is different, okay? And when the price is decreased or increased of for example, there is a X product, okay, which is of 10 rupees, and there is a Y product which is of 9 rupees, we can say, okay? But the products, it is a biscuit, for example, and it is also biscuit. Getting it? Both are biscuits, but the price is different. And when these substitute goods, okay, if the price is decreased from 10 to 8 for example, okay, and this is also decreased from 9 to 7, so people will shift from this to this biscuit. Why? Because both the products are similar. These are the substitute goods, but there is a price difference. Okay, so this product will give more benefits in price. Okay, your money will be saving more, right? Obviously, the both products are giving the same satisfaction. Okay, maybe, but the price is decreased from the price of X is decreased. Okay, the Y price is also decreased. Okay, so people will shift to the cheaper biscuit, not the expensive one. That gives more benefits to them. Same the satisfaction level, same uh, uh, the what we can say, the product, right? But it is giving more financial benefits, so people will shift to that product. Next one is cross elasticity of demand between complementary goods is A positive, B negative, C 0 or D infinite. It is what? It is negative. Cross elasticity of demand between complementary goods is negative. Okay. Because in a complementary goods, okay, there are X and Y. If the price of X is decreased, the demand for Y will be increased. That happens in a complementary goods. Next, which of the following statement is correct about elasticity of demand? Okay, A, price elasticity of demand is always positive. B, income elasticity of demand is negative for normal goods. Or C, price elasticity of demand is negative but often expressed as a positive. Or D, cross elasticity is always negative. So right answer is option C. Okay, why? Price elasticity of demand is technically negative due to the inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. Correct? However, for simplicity, economists usually report it as a positive value. So it is said that price elasticity of demand is technically negative due to the inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded, right? That means when price is increased, the quantity demanded will be decreased. But often economists or shows in the report that is the positive value, because there are some reasons when the economists do such kind of thing, their calculation will be more easier, right? They focus more on magnitude than the direction, so they do such kind of thing. Okay, there will be no confusion when it is shows positively. Correct? Next, if a good has unitary price elasticity of demand, then A, total revenue rises when price rises, total revenue falls when price rises, total revenue remains constant when price changes, or D, total revenue is zero. What is it? It is option C. Total revenue remains constant when price changes. That is only when a good has a unitary price elasticity of demand. See, for unitary elasticity demand, elasticity is equal to 1. Okay. Any percentage change in the price is exactly offset by the percentage change in a quantity demanded, right? So keeping total revenue constant. Next, the concept of cardinal utility is based on A, preference ranking, B, measuring satisfaction in numbers, revealed preferences, and D, consumption bundles. It is option B, measuring satisfaction in numbers. Cardinal utility assumes utility can be measured in the exact units, that means utils. Okay, for example, consuming a chocolate may give 100 utils of satisfaction. Okay, so this contrast when with the ordinal utility which only ranks preferences. In demand forecasting, exponential smoothing is preferred because A, it gives equal weight to all past observations. B, it ignores recent data. C, it gives more weight to recent observations. And D, it does not require historical data. What will be the right answer? The right answer is option C. It gives more weight to recent observations. Okay, so exponential smoothing is preferred because it gives more weight to recent observation. Why? Because it makes it responsive to recent changes in demand while smoothing out random fluctuations. Okay, so exponential smoothing assigns more weight to recent data points. This is the reason. Which of the following is not a time series forecasting method? A. Trend projection, B. Moving average, C. Delphi method, and D. Exponential smoothing. So right answer is option C, Delphi method. Okay. The Delphi method is qualitative, based on the expert opinions, not numerical data. Okay. All other options are quantitative time series techniques. Okay. So this is the difference between other options. The Delphi is the qualitative, which is based on the expert opinions. Okay. What people are giving the opinions, the behavior of consumers, everything, which will be totally qualitative, theoretical, okay, which is called not numerical. There is no numbers which needs the survey. Okay, all other options apart from the Delphi method, which requires the surveys, which will give you the numerical data. Okay, marginal utility of money is generally assumed to be A increasing, B constant, C decreasing, and D zero. What is it? It is option C, decreasing. So as a person gets more money, the additional satisfaction from each unit for money decreases. This is important for understanding the consumer choice and demand under the budget constraint. Okay. All right, so this is all about this video, everyone, and we will be also taking some more MCQs on this for upcoming NTA UGC NET management paper. Okay, and if you are seriously preparing for this examination, you can also join our course, which is you can join by just giving a WhatsApp message or WhatsApp call on this number. You can simply just download our application where you can find the course for management paper 2, and you can join through the application as well. Okay, so don't wait, we have very less time in our hand. You can prepare yourself better, just join the course and start your preparation, or if you have already started, just boost your preparation.